Welcome back to our module addressing the topic of a leader's decision-making skills. This is part 2. Last time we noted that decision-making is one of the inescapable tasks of ministry leaders, which determine the success and effectiveness of our leadership. We looked at an initial 2 of 10 guidelines for how to make good decisions. Number 1, clarify the vision God has given you. And number 2, understand your own style of leadership. Let's continue. Number 3, pray. In the general tone of your whole life, foster a prayerful attitude and adopt the daily discipline of prayer. In specific regard to decisions, pray about everything. For example, Jesus spent the whole night in prayer before choosing the 12 apostles. Seek the Lord's guidance by committing everything to the Lord in prayer. Ask that God would give you wisdom. Remember James 1 verses 5 to 8, which states that God gives wisdom generously to those who ask in faith and do not doubt. The scriptures urge us to seek for wisdom and understanding. Proverbs 4 verse 7 states that wisdom is supreme. Therefore get wisdom. Though it cost all that you have, get understanding. Pray that you would live a life grounded in wisdom. As a young leader, Solomon sought for wisdom above all else so he could govern the people. Like Solomon, pray also that God would give you wisdom to make right decisions. Number 4, reflect in Scripture. Again, in the general tenor of your life, read the Scriptures every day and foster the practices of meditation and continual study. In specific regard to decisions, reflect on the decision you have to make in the light of Scripture. Ask some questions like, does the Bible have a specific principle that relates to this decision? Is there a precedent in Scripture? Is there a Bible story or anecdote that gives me insight into this decision? Is this decision I am making consistent with the teaching of Scripture? Number 5, clarify exactly what you need to decide and the various options. To make wise and informed decisions, you need to know exactly with great clarity and specificity what you actually have to decide. A decision implies that there are a number of options, so know the options very clearly. Ask a lot of questions. Someone has well written that to understand a problem is the biggest part of solving a problem. Number 6, be informed about the whole dimension of the decision. Find out as much information as possible about the details. Here are some practical ideas. If necessary, seek technical, specialist, or professional information. For example, a legal opinion. Do research. Do focused reading. Be inquisitive. Listen objectively. Some leaders are selective listeners. They hear what they want to hear. But to be a good decision maker, you'll have to listen objectively. Ask probing questions to ascertain information that will help inform your decision. Remember that people, especially staff, will be selective in what they will say to you. So listen carefully and ask investigative questions and seek clarity on any grey areas within your thinking. Number 7, discuss with other experienced leaders. Another practical idea in the decision-making process is to discuss the whole scenario with other experienced leaders. And there are at least 3 levels on which this principle relates. A, discuss it with the vision bearers within the local church or ministry, those who share the spiritual oversight or burden with you, for example, an eldership or team. B, discuss it with experienced ministers or leaders, especially those who may have a similar challenge. Or, if these first 2 options are impractical or it's a sensitive issue, C, think of a prominent leader who you respect. Ask yourself the question, how would this leader respond to this decision? This may help you to see the whole decision from a different point of view. Number 8, decide. After working through steps 1 to 7, it is time to decide. Let it settle in your spirit until you have clarity and conviction about a decision. Importantly, seek a sense of inward peace about the decision you've made in your heart. Number 9, communicate the decision. Once you have made the decision, inform the relevant people in the appropriate order. Number 10, implementing the decision. Initiate and organize a step-by-step plan to implement the decision you have made. Now at this point, let me add two other factors in making personal decisions. Review the decision. Part of successful decision making is to regularly review your decisions. Ask some honest questions like, was the decision right? Was it communicated and implemented correctly? How can I improve in my decision-making process? And here are some cautions that need to be sounded in regard to making decisions. Don't be pressured to make a decision. Have a time frame, but don't allow others to force you into a decision that you are not ready or informed to make. And don't allow yourself to be manipulated, and don't procrastinate. But what happens if you make a bad decision? I recently read a quote that said, "People do not realize how important decisions are until they make the wrong ones." And if and when you make a bad or wrong decision, Aubrey Malphurs in his book Being Leaders suggests the following 5 things. Number 1, admit the mistake. People normally are very understanding if we're honest, but very unforgiving if we try and cover up and never admit failings. One of the most trust-building statements any leader can make is, "I'm sorry, I was wrong." Number 2, acknowledge responsibility. Take personal responsibility for the wrong decision or implementation. Nothing builds trust like a leader accepting responsibility. Nothing destroys trust as quickly as a leader blaming others for their mistakes. Number 3, apologize to those affected and, if necessary, the congregation. It is wise to apologize within the sphere of those involved. For example, if it's the team or a small group or a family, unless, of course, it pertains to the whole church or organization. Number 4, accept the consequences. In some circumstances, some people will no longer trust you. Others may leave the church. There will be consequences for bad decisions, and sometimes you just have to live with it. Importantly, you'll learn from it and not make similar mistakes again. And number 5, act to correct the situation. Be quick and thorough in correcting the mistakes that you have made. Now please, don't beat yourself up if you've made bad decisions. We all have and do. Learning from them is part of the process of becoming a bigger and better leader. Well, we'll conclude part 2 here. So far we've looked at personal decision making, but next time we'll have a look at making decisions as a group. See you then.